I had a theory when we voted in Buhari in 2015 that we are going to be in the abyss politically for at least 24 years. Why? There is a type of person you vote into power that you forget that the head sets the precedence for the entire body. I'll give you a physical analogy. If you have a proper head, a head that is smart, a brain that is functional, and you have a useless, broken physical body, you can at least end up with Stephen Hawking, one of the most intelligent men in the history of the world, who suffered cerebral palsy and was paralyzed from the neck down, still a genius, one of the greatest astrophysicists in the planet. If you have a good head and a body that did not mature to fruity, you can end up with Aki and Popo. You can end up with intelligence. You can end up with packaging. You can end up a superstar. But I remind you, if you have a useless head, a non-functional brain, but the body of a giant, you are comatose and you are nothing but bed sores and you need help. That is what Nigeria is. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. But I promise you, I would have given anything for Nigeria to have been the genius of Africa and not the giant. Because if we were the genius of Africa, we would not be where we are. People in Lagos would not get up and be told that if you vote in a man who had a genealogy traceable to about 300 years back in Lagos, that Igbo people will be slapping your daughter's nyash on the road and this and that, and people went out and voted Babajide Sanwo-Olu back into power. But today, they're all complaining about traffic, this and that, and buildings are collapsing in Banana Island, and they are being, the owners of the building till today has not been revealed to the Nigerian people. Lagosians, congratulations one more time. You played yourself. Also, like I said, this Sudan crisis has one more time exposed Abike Dabiri. But if Abike Dabiri would learn the fine art of shutting the fuck up, there is a bigger idiot in this problem called Geoffrey Onyema, a man that has no business in foreign affairs. And from what I heard on Urban Legend, the only reason he's in government today is that he was the groomsman at Abakiari's wedding. Because I do not understand how after 8 years in power, the Muhammadu Buhari administration cannot proudly tell Nigerians, as a principle of foreign affairs, that we have added at least 6 to 10 new countries to the Nigerian passport on visa-free arrangements, or at least some brand new arrangements bilaterally within some other countries that buys Nigerians some new visa arrangements. But rather, I traveled to Kenya in 2019, landed in Kenya, paid $50 and got my visa free. And then in 2020, less than 6 months later, I heard you have to apply for a visa just to go to Kenya. Let me remind you people something that is not in our topic, but I will always say this on this space. Do not let APC gaslight you. Muhammadu Buhari is a failure. There's a reason he's apologizing to Nigerians and telling you that if you people disturb him in Kaduna, he'll go to Niger. He knows. Even his neighbors in Kaduna want to whoop his ass. He was a failure. There is no packaging. There is no packaging. There is no numbers. There is no data. There is no adjuring gelale. There is nothing that will remedy the failure that is Muhammadu Buhari. Twice. Once as a military president and another as a civilian president. I thank God for the video of yesterday that proves that he's hale and hearty enough to wear a military regalia and walk down the aisle, because we will be needing him to walk down the aisle of several court cases he will face once he does not have immunity anymore. He fucked around. He will find out. I also want to remind obedience, please remember, the charade that will happen on May the 29th is because APC is a cult and they have no regard for democracy. There is a possibility Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be sworn into power. It is nothing more than a birthday party. It is nothing more than an Owambe. Tinubu himself knows it's a charade. You need to remember in the video he did when he landed in Lagos, when they asked him about that day, he said it's just another day, because he knows he has no legitimacy. It is just another day on the Nigerian calendar. It is just another Owambe, as they've always done in Eagle Square and in Aso Rock. My people, have no fear. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not bigger than the Nigerian judiciary. Nigeria is bigger than the Nigerian constitution. Governors greater than him have been removed from power when they were found wanting. He will not be any different. Matter of fact, he will set the record in this country as the first president who rigged an election so ignorantly that proof is everywhere, all over the country. The mandate will be returned from him, and I repeat, nothing will happen. There will be no unrest. There will be no pogroms against the Igbos. The same way there was zero celebration the day he won is the same way the nation will erupt in joyous laughter. He will set the record as the biggest carnival that will happen in Nigeria after the death of Sani Abacha. You would really know how many people voted in that election, because you cannot tell me that we set the record of the highest PVC collation at 97 million, but set the record of the lowest election turnout at 24 million voters. Absolute border dash. A man who won 8 million votes according to their INEC out of 24 million voters. If you do the math, that's at least 3 people for every one Tinubu fan. If it even ended up in a free-for-all, there are 3 people from every other party that will whoop the ass of one Jaga bandit. Trust me when I tell you, my people, the mandate will be collected from him and nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Bashiru will get on a plane and get the fuck out of this country. Everybody will disappear. Nothing will happen. So, my people, May 29th, their cult will throw their party. It is the same way their cults threw a party the day people were massacred in Owo. It's another Owambe for them. Have no fear. Do not put your mind there. All eyes on the judiciary and all eyes on our mandate and our petition at the Supreme Court. Abike Dabiri, I did say this. $1.2 million divided by 40 buses is $30,000. A quick Google search of how much it will cost you right now, even in the Sudanese crisis, to leave Sudan is bordering around $4,500 to $6,500. Abike Dabiri has not told us whether these buses will run 2 trips, because if they say that we have Nigerians in their millions in Sudan and you're excavating students, if 5,000 students by 40 buses, it absolutely makes no sense. Has she told us whether those buses will run 2 or 3 trips if they're doing a mathematics at $30,000 per bus? I don't know why, but that math really pisses me off. The fact that they're doing 40 buses, $30,000 per bus at $1.2 million. That whole trip, this whole evacuation could be done at $400,000. And there was still enough money to steal. But anyway, from what I heard, they got to Egypt and they're facing the same crisis constitutionally that we are facing in Ethiopia. Countries do not respect Nigeria anymore. They never had, and it's getting worse under Muhammadu Buhari. I wonder what it will be like when we have Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Shettima in power, even if it's for 24 hours. I remind you people, it has always been Tinubu's dream to be Nigeria's president, no matter how short it is. And he has to be very careful. Words are powerful. He has gone around saying this several times. He will be Nigeria's president, and it will be for a very, very short time. And nothing will happen when the mandate is taken back. Nyesom Wike is so sad. It is very, very sad. He went from local government chairman. He's had a great run politically. It really should have peaked with vice president of the PDP, but he didn't get it, and then turned into a mad bull in the China shop, literally knocked up every piece of cutlery all over the place. He called APC a cancer. And today, APC is touting him as one of the smartest election riggers in the country. He's seen in a video with Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the rest.